everyone, this is Gal from Rainbow Food Rocks, Rainbow Healing and Wellness, and Rainbow Herbals. And I'm here today to talk about calcium. Okay, so when I started my journey, the thing I heard, because the first thing I took out was dairy to help my daughter heal from autism spectrum disorder and ADHD. First thing I heard was, oh, your bones are gonna break. How are you gonna get calcium? So I read the book, I think it's called Go Dairy Free. This was a long time, it was back in 2016 when I started this journey, because my daughter was diagnosed in 2015, at the end of 2015. I started looking into, are there other ways to get calcium? So I was doing my research, and sure enough, I found calcium in a lot of other places, and it offered way more than cow's milk if I combined it correctly. And so I was like, wow, you know, it's really easy to get a bunch of calcium, but most people don't know this. And I would assume that the dairy industry would not want you to know this because they probably want to sell you cow milk. So it's a separate discussion as to what is going on with the current cow milk in the United States. But I will have you know that when I took out the dairy, my daughter got 25% better. And from there I took out other foods, and that's why I wrote the book Rainbow Food Rocks, which you can find on Amazon Blurb and also on my website, which is rainbowherbals.com. So you can look into that and you can read the story as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. Let's get back to calcium. Okay, so certain foods have a bunch of calcium and people don't realize it. So I'm going to go through a list here of what foods have and how much to eat. And again, this is from a book that was published probably, well, I want to say like maybe 7 years ago or so. Could have been sooner. I just don't remember exactly. So I photocopied this page here as a reference, and it says here, now I'm not going to read the soy foods because I don't do wheat, dairy, corn, soy, or eggs. I don't do yeast. I don't do anything with gluten. And I keep everything very low sugar for the most part, with a few exceptions. But usually I don't even do cane sugar. If I do, it's a very small amount. And again, just few exceptions. Certain things wouldn't taste right. So let's get back to this. So anyhow, nuts and seeds. So the serving size is generally one ounce unless I note it. So let's talk about that. So if you just have plain roasted almonds, it's 80 milligrams for 1 ounce. Now if you have a tablespoon of almond butter, you get 43 milligrams. And then if you have certain other things, and I can list them like Brazil nuts, hazelnuts, pistachios, you get some calcium. If you have sesame seeds whole, 1 tablespoon is 37 milligrams of calcium. And for tahini, 1 tablespoon is 64 milligrams of calcium. Now, I find that interesting because, like, let's say here, I have this new product that's in my store, Rainbow Herbals, okay? This is HALVA. I don't know if you like HALVA, if you've ever tried HALVA. I love HALVA. I grew up in New York, and so many different ethnicities in New York. It's a huge melting pot. So I'm actually gonna take a bite of this since we're talking about calcium, because they're talking about tahini, and tahini is made from sesame seeds. This is sesame seeds, and this also has cacao powder in it. And so this is from Hebel and Company, and I just got it in yesterday. I'm so excited to try it. Okay, I'll tell you a secret. I did try a little bit beforehand. Maybe a lot. Okay, so let me just give you my review. So when I go, it actually slices really nicely. So if I had a knife and I hadn't eaten some already, I could actually slice it almost like a loaf of bread. And it has this like crispy, airy texture. You can see like the strings of tahini that are mixed inside. And you can almost hear that little crisp. I don't know if you could hear that. So, now this is just a teaspoon, and I was referring to a tablespoon. So we need like about 3 of these. So that, oh my God, so good. To get the 64 milligrams. Okay, I'll show you what it looks like even though I scooped some of it. But you can see it has that like, even that real stringy kind of thing going on. It does not taste stringy at all. It's just like crisp and airy. And you know what I love about this? And I'm sorry, I'm digressing for a second, but I just love this product. What I love about it is, if you look at the ingredients, and I have them listed on my website, there's no wheat, no dairy, no corn, no soy, no eggs. When I go to the store and look for HALVA, Also, this is organic. Look at that. Oops, I have it upside down. When I go to the store and look for halva in the Jewish section, I always find artificial garbage. I find high fructose corn syrup. I don't even want to get into it, but if you have done your homework and you understand about high fructose corn syrup, you really don't want it in your diet, especially if you're trying to lose weight, but also because it's highly chemicalized. So, highly recommend this. You can check it out. Let's get back to what we're talking about. All right, so other food items. We have a whole bunch for different salad greens. So let's say, for instance, you're growing in your garden like chicory greens. So this one's the serving size of a cup. I'm having it raw unless I tell you otherwise, okay? So chicory greens, 180 milligrams. Collard greens, and this is if they're boiled, 226. Dandelion greens, 103, again, milligrams. Lamb's quarters, 464 milligrams of calcium. Oh my goodness. We also have mustard greens boiled, 104, and mustard greens frozen, 152. I don't know what you wouldn't eat it frozen, so I don't know where they got these numbers from, but I think they're trying to make a point here with cooked versus uncooked. And then turnip greens boiled are 198, but just turnip greens raw is 105. So that's really interesting. So a lot of these greens will give you calcium. Now, I want to make a note here, something that the author mentioned here, is that spinach, rhubarb, beet greens, and Swiss chard, they are very high in calcium. However, due to their low absorption rates, which is like 5%, they aren't mentioned on the list that this author provides. So let's go to grains. I don't really do many grains, but if you want to consider carob flour a grain, I don't really do consider it a grain, but if you want to classify it as that, it gives you 359 milligrams of calcium. Now, carob, if you've never experimented with it, is very similar to chocolate, and you can actually substitute it. And in my book, I give a lot of options for using carob instead of chocolate, and it doesn't give you the extra caffeine like chocolate does. So you can look into that. And then for fruits and juices, if we have like 1 medium serving size of figs, or I should say more like a cup of figs, dried, it's 241 milligrams of calcium. And then I'm going to skip, oranges actually by itself is not as high. Now beans, this gets interesting. So this is a cup of beans cooked. Now I always actually like soak and sprout my beans, and then I cook them in kombu seaweed. So that helps with digestion and also helps release nutrients. So here, baked beans, 128 milligrams. Great Northern beans, 121 milligrams of calcium. Navy beans, 128. White beans, 161. Winged beans, 244. And yellow beans, 110. So that's really interesting. Now spices, who knew? Calcium can be found in spices? Really? I didn't know that. So a tablespoon, dried or ground. Basil gives you 85 milligrams of calcium. Now let's think about this. So you're talking about just 1 tablespoon of basil. So a lot of people eat like spaghetti sauce and stuff. So you can put it in your recipes, right? And you can even have it raw and make pesto. I grow basil in my garden. I mean, calcium's sitting outside. I don't even have to go very far. Cinnamon, I love putting cinnamon things. So cinnamon, 1 tablespoon gives you 74 milligrams. Dill seed gives you 91. And thyme, who knew? Thyme, out of all things. Where did the thyme go? No, I'm just kidding. 76 milligrams. Now, one of my favorites here that's on my vegetable list is bok choy. And I don't know if I already told the story, but I was in a store and somebody approached me and was like, oh, what do I do with this? Like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, it's bok choy and you can cook it with mushrooms and garlic. And I might have already told you the story. And so I was telling the person how they could actually cut just like the bottom, soak in water for a day and then resprout it. So I put bok choy in my garden. Whenever I buy bok choy, I do that. So bok choy is 158 milligrams. I'm gonna go a little bit faster because my battery's about to die, so I apologize. So French beans, 111. Raw kelp, which is awesome for a lot of different things. I'll go over that in another video, 144 milligrams. Okra, 100. I have okra growing outside like crazy, and one of my recipes for the sinigang, the Filipino soup, has okra in it. So a lot of my recipes already have all these things combined. And I'm gonna jump to homemade broth, by the way, is also extremely high in calcium. I can't remember the exact number. So again, I have a recipe here so you're not wasting your scraps. And everything gets used as bases for other recipes. And when you're using the ends of, and I've gone over this so many times, when you're using the ends of like onions and garlic, you got a lot of quercetin, and you put that in with your broth that you're making and then sift it out and use that broth again to make soups. I'm actually making pasta vazul right now in my kitchen behind this wall. So we'll continue on. So peas, 64 milligrams. Okay, that one's not too high. I'm sorry, I might have highlighted that for some other reason. Sweet potato cubed, 76. Blackstrap molasses, 172 milligrams. So that's a lot. All right, so my battery is really getting low. Let's just go over here. I don't eat meat, and there aren't any meat recipes in my book, but if you are a meat eater, pink salmon and sardines are the highest. Pink salmon coming in at 181, and sardines canned come in at 317. And if you want to make a comparison, 1 cup of 2 ounce cow milk has 297 milligrams of calcium. So right away you can see with all these other vegetables, which are included in my recipes, you can get a lot more calcium. So just to review, if you want to go dairy-free, if you're trying to help your body heal itself, if you're trying to remove dairy to lose weight, or you're trying to remove dairy to help with someone that has ASD or ADHD or ADD, or if you're trying to help someone with Epstein-Barr virus, multiple sclerosis, relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, please know that you can get your calcium from elsewhere. I obviously have not broken any bones, and my kids are really nice and healthy and strong. So try going dairy-free and see how it works for you. And again, if you're interested in my book, it's on Amazon, Blurb, and rainbowherbals.com if you want the ebook. And if you're interested in my HALVA, you can find that at my store at rainbowherbals.com. Links are in the description box below. And if you want to find me on Instagram, I am on as Rainbow Herbals. I am on as Rainbow_food_rocks. I am on as Rainbow Healing and Wellness. I have 2 YouTube channels. The one you're watching, Rainbow Food Rocks, and also Rainbow Healing and Wellness, where you'll find a lot more interviews where I go on with people like Dr. Paul Cottrell, Rex Bear from Leak Project, Greg Allison from Green Greg's, a few other people too, I can't remember, but anyhow, that's where you can find a bunch of interviews where I talk about a lot of different topics that I don't talk about specifically on this channel, at least not in depth, because I want to keep this channel as friendly as possible. So please like, subscribe, share with like-minded people. Oh my gosh, I love HALVA. Okay, see you on the next video. Ciao!